We spent a week in Portugal, and for the day we arrived, we were met with surprise.
Wow.
After surprise.
There we go. We're good.
After surprise.
Oh shit. Are we? Okay.
Exactly how many surprises were there? Keep watching to find out as we discover Portugal. After arriving and dropping our bags at our hotel, we made straight for one of the most famed eateries in all of Portugal, Pastéis de Belém. Out of all the food in this country, these are probably the most well-known.
Super heavy.
They're really that good. After the pastels, we headed across the street to check out Jerónimos Monastary, a World Heritage Site. It's a really unique architectural style called Manueline, and everything has incredible detail. Our next stop was the Monument of Discoveries, a tribute to all of Portugal's explorers and visionaries from the 15th and 16th centuries. We decided to head up to the top, but instead of taking the elevator, I decided we would walk it.
Curse you.
I don't need my bright ideas. Oh wow!
I know.
Easy going down. Now, the fruits of our labor. Wow. It's surprisingly small.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We almost have it to ourselves.
That's it?
That's it, she said.
Just up the river was Fort Belém, which has been guarding Lisbon for over 500 years.
Is it crazy?
It is easily 30 miles an hour. The winds gave us a great reason to head indoors at the Time Out Market for lunch. I went with the cod. As you can see, I'm enjoying it.
There must have been another dish. Right, but it's still delicious.
We explored the Bairro Alto district and checked out the famed Pink Street. Since it was a Wednesday afternoon, there wasn't much activity going on, but it's still plenty colorful and definitely worth checking out. The one thing that is definite, no exaggeration about Lisbon, is the hills. If you don't have your walking legs underneath you, or your climbing legs,
And good tennis shoes.
good shoes are
Good shoes.
terribly important.
Well, because it's all cobblestone.
Right,
So,
yeah.
no sandals, ladies.
No heels.
No super flat flats.
I think just a good pair of sneakers, or trainers, as they like to call them on this side of the pond, would do you good. But yeah, if you're missing any of those things, you're gonna struggle here for sure. We saw the 28 tram go by, but decided not to hop on it since we had heard it was crowded, pretty touristy, and a pickpocket's paradise. Instead, we just headed out to find a rooftop bar and celebrate my 50th birthday. We had some port wines and some ginja to toast my half-decade and our first full day in Portugal. One of my favorite ways to learn about a new city is to take a bike tour. They cover more ground than walking tours and are less crowded than buses. This tour would end up being just us, our guide Alexandra, and a nice couple from Britain. We saw a lot of the Alfama neighborhood, parts of which remained intact after the Great Earthquake of 1755, which ended up destroying most of the city. So this is the type of thing where it's really hard to convey, the depth of the city and everything. Pictures, as always, never do anything justice. Videos don't do it justice. The only way you can really appreciate the depth and the texture of the city is actually, just come see it because it's amazing. Pro tip, make sure you take an e-bike tour so your legs aren't burnt out after climbing all the hills. We tried some Portuguese dishes for lunch and then continued exploring on our own. It's so funny how America is supposedly the freest country in the world, but the one thing that I can't do in America that I can do here is I can walk around with beer in public and drink it. Before, we had Pink Street, and for whatever reason, Blue Street. I really wanted to see the Carmo Convent, a church that was mostly destroyed in the 1755 earthquake. For whatever reason, it was never fully rebuilt, and now it doubles as a museum with artifacts from Lisbon's storied history. One of the best things you can do in Lisbon is just walk around aimlessly. That's what we did, and we found more of my new favorite drink, ginger. Start. Compared to last night, it's a little stronger.
Yeah.
You don't like it?
Mm-mm.
No, I do, but
Not really.
I like alcohol a lot. Wendy had discovered a new favorite too, the pastel de natas, and she was determined to sample every single one we came across. Go for it.
Did you see that?
No, did it just blow
Powdered
off
sugar
in
right
your
in my
face?
face.
Our hotel was close to Eduardo VII Park, and we wanted to check it out before the rain came. The park is huge, beautiful, and sloped uphill, so we hopped on scooters again to barely beat the rain.
That's super cool.
This is a view.
Wow.
We thought we would head out and listen to some Faldo music in Alfama, but Mother Nature had another surprise waiting for us. There's nothing on the radar. It said that we'd be good until 10 p.m. and yeah, not even close. I mean, it's just ridiculous almost. We settled on a restaurant that claimed authentic Portuguese food, and we both tried some new dishes. While they were good, they weren't necessarily life-changing. The next discovery on our list was Lagos, in the Algarve region of southern Portugal. To get there, we decided to rent a car. It's been an adventurous morning. We're finally in our rental car. They didn't have our reservation in the system. It wasn't calling up, so somehow we got it recreated, and now we're finally in a little
Don't even know what it is.
Peugeot, I think. It's manual. It's been a while since I've driven a manual, so I'm really sorry for what I'm about to put you through. And
I'm scared.
as well you should be. It wasn't the prettiest drive, but there wasn't much traffic either. We made Lagos in about 2.5 hours, and just to make sure my stick shift skills were adequate, I ended up on the hilliest, narrowest street in Lagos. And that's how you survive trying to park in Lagos. That was...
My heart rate's up.
I survived. In Portugal.
As of today. That's
Okay.
a big happy.
So that's a nice welcoming gift that we
Yes.
got, even though the weather's not cooperating.
No, it's cold.
Super friendly owner. We just this burger joint.
Yes. And some surfaces. He definitely earned that, driving a stick shift for 2.5 hours.
It says the best drinks in Lagos, so
I think we kind of have to.
she says we have to. All right, let's go check it out. things we liked about Lagos is it's pretty small, so it was only about a 5-minute drive to get to our hotel, which was another great surprise in itself.
Well, it's big.
It is huge.
What's the size of a U.S. hotel room?
Easily.
Half the cost. I'm blown away by this massive
Just
bed.
look at this bed. I know.
This is ginormous. And they turned this
Oh, wow.
into it's an old sewing machine.
Yes. Wow.
Into a sink.
That is so cool.
This is amazing.
And
The price and the space, I'm blown away by.
the convenience of everything.
Yeah.
And we were 1 mile.
It's easy to get to.
Our hotel was right down the street from some great vantage points, so despite the rain, we decided to check them out. Yeah, it's raining, but you know what? We don't care, because wow. The second we stepped out of the car and took one good picture, these dark clouds of remorse just rolled in and said, no, back in the car with you. There's a nice restaurant called El Camillo that had a covered patio, and as soon as we got our drinks served, we ended up seeing our best surprise yet. There was no way I wasn't going to go for a morning run in this part of the world, and I am so glad I did.
See pictures of a place like this and think, oh my God, places like this exist in the world. And then it's something else to actually be here among it. It's...
We didn't have anything specific planned in Lagos, so we hopped in the car and drove about 35 minutes west to visit the Sagres Fortress, which was another impressive surprise.
The flag is definitely standing in attention today.
Apparently this fortress was set up in the 1500s. It was damaged by the earthquake and restored 1900s. Looks like they've done an amazing job of it. There are still some parts that are still around, including one of the turrets. And then we're going to head out to the lighthouse and check out the point. We had quite a squall whip through a few minutes ago. Just a sudden outburst. You could see the rain coming sideways. It was... How would you characterize it?
Windy.
Back to Lagos to visit our new friend for lunch, who surprised us with some special beers he had in reserve.
Oh, that's so good. I've heard of the next one.
With the sun playing peekaboo, we started exploring more beaches that Lagos has to offer, and each one is truly unique. After some afternoon cocktails, we hopped back in the car and picked a random beach on the west coast called Casaleo Beach. For such a random choice, I really don't think we could have picked a more unique one. On our last day in Lagos, I got up early to enjoy the sunrise from Camillo Beach and some of its hidden alcoves. Ride kayaking, and we show up and we see a whole group of people, and we thought, oh, okay, it's gonna be a big crowd. We check in, turns out we're getting a private tour, so
excited.
We're excited to see how the private tour goes. Yeah. Absolutely. With mostly clear skies, we were able to enjoy the drive back to Lisbon. And somehow we survived the major roundabout at the airport and miraculously returned the car safely to the rental center. Our last hotel was closer to the river and within walking distance to Time Out Market, where we headed back for dinner and some more pastel de nata sampling.
Wow.
I gotta agree with her. These are really
Hot.
good. I mean,
Ooh, but look at the steam.
yeah, I was just gonna say, you can see the steam coming out. That's how
Wow.
fresh they are. So today is 25 Abril in Portugal, and it is a national holiday today. We were thinking about the thing we had read the other day that said, don't be a tourist, be a traveler. So we're going on the road less traveled, and we're at Cascais today, a coastal town, and we're gonna see what there is to see here. Yes, I am.
Oh my God.
Yes, I am. Everybody who's watching this already knows this probably. We alternated between walking, hopping on scooters, and riding bikes, heading up and down the coast. All day we were constantly surprised by the variety and the beauty of the landscape. We wrapped up our final night with some cervejas to celebrate 25 de Abril, some slightly obstructed views of the bridge and sanctuary of Christ the King, and a romantic little plaza. We got a few last surprises at the airport. with masks no longer being mandatory, passport checks taking only 15 minutes, and boarding our plane by stairs. But those paled in comparison to the rest of the surprises we had. Portugal is as beautiful as any other country we've been to, and we only scratched the surface being there just 1 week. We have so much to share from our trip. Be on the lookout for breakout videos coming soon with more highlights and details from our time in Lisbon, Lagos, and Cascais. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.